message for the group overall. And what I'll do is I have my little note sheet here, and I will guide to use it as a guide as I throw the coins, and I will tell you what I roll so that you can understand. So basically, if you want to write this down on a piece of paper, when you have your 3 coins, then you roll, if you throw 2 heads and 1 tail, then that's called a yang line, and that's just a straight line. So you write that, so you would number your page from 1 to 6 going up. So the first line in a hexagram is the foundation. So that's the first line we're going to roll for. And so on your paper, you can fold your paper in half long ways, and number on both the left-hand side and the right-hand side next to the fold from 1 to 6 up from the bottom. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up at the top. So the first line we're going to roll for is the first line. And again, if you roll 2 heads and 1 tail, then that's a yang line. That's a straight line. It's unbroken is what it's called. And then if you roll 2 tails and 1 head, then it's a yin line, and that's the chopped line or a dashed line. Then if you roll 3 heads, that's a yang line, and it's a changing line, meaning you draw a straight line and put a little tiny circle over that line in the very center of it. And again, when we do the class, we'll go over this a little bit better. And then if you have a changing line, then it changes to the opposite. So in this case, 3 heads is a yang line, and it's changing to a yin line. So then over on the right-hand column, you would put a dashed line for the yin. Then 3 tails, if you roll 3 tails with your coins, then that's a yin line, and it's changing to a yang line. So the way that you would record that is the 3 tails is the yin line. You draw the chop mark or the dashed line, put a little teeny tiny X in the open space between the 2 small lines. And then that changes when you record it over to the right column. It will change to a yang line, which is the unbroken line. And maybe that's clear as mud, but that's what we're going to do. There we go. All right. Okay. So let's get in our heart spaces here and connect with our core energy field for just a moment and connect with the group, everyone that's here right now together and everyone that will be watching this afterwards. And invite clear message coming through from Spirit, the universal flow source. And the message that we need to hear today, or what's best for us to hear today for what's happening in our lives. So I'm going to go ahead and throw for the first line. So we got 3 tails. So again, 3 tails is the yin line, and it's changing. So in the little open space, I'm going to draw an X. And over on the right-hand side, I'm going to draw an unbroken yang line. And then holding the energy that we just connected to again in our heart space, I'm going to throw the second line. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Can you hear the little jingle jingle? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. And we got 3 tails again. So again, it's a yin line. So it's the broken line. Draw a little X in the open space in the middle because it's changing to a yang line. And over on number 2, we draw a yang line in the second hexagram. Okay, and holding our focus in mind again. Throwing for the third line. Okay, we got 2 heads and 1 tail. So that is a yang line for the third line throw. We're going to transfer that over on to the second hexagram that we're changing to, and that is just transferring the yang line straight over to the third line. And holding our focus for the fourth line throw. And again, we have 2 heads and 1 tail. So this again for the fourth line is a yang line. I'm transferring a yang line over to the second hexagram we're creating. And then throwing for the fifth line. And we got 2 heads and 1 tail. So that's again a yang line on the fifth line throw, and transferring a yang line over to the right column to the fifth line. And then throwing for the sixth line. And we got 2 tails this time with a head. So that one is a yin line, and we're going to transfer that yin line over to the sixth line. Okay, let's see which hexagrams we got here. So on the lower trigram, we got the mountain is what this trigram is called. So it's yin, yin, and then yang line. And then on the top, we got exactly the opposite. That's interesting. So this one is yang, yang, and then yin, and that is the joyous lake trigram. So we have trigram 31 as the first hexagram. That's the gate of influence. And then this is changing to the hexagram. On the lower trigram, we got heaven. And then above, we got the lake. So it's changing to gate 43, the gate of insights and breakthroughs. So what we're going to do is these 2 lines that are changing, which is the first and the second line, we're going to look in Shelley Parkin's Book of Lines. And we're going to look on gate 31. And gate 31, again, is the gate of influence. It's a leadership gate. It's actually has to do with leading groups of people and being, hopefully, the intention is a positive influence in other people's lives when invited. So it's much easier to lead people when they invite you to lead them versus just stepping in and trying to lead without asking permission or being asked to do so or be in that leadership role in a group. A lot of times people start getting really upset if someone who steps in and just tries to lead because they think they know better and try to take charge of things, and that we all know that that doesn't feel very good. So that's the low expression of this hexagram 31. And the high expression is, of course, waiting to be invited because people have noticed that you have leadership abilities and they would like to receive your guidance and your influence in a group, whatever situation that is. And so that would be the most ideal situation. And also to make sure, this is how, this is a gate where you can get, have the ability to notice the talents that are in the team as you move forward as well, and to honor the group, especially when we've got that whole channel defined, and to lead from a space of humility and modesty. And let's see. The first line here says opening, finding the sincerity to allow yourself to be influential. You either offer your ideals in simple ways or through contrived means. So there's a little bit of a caution here. So being sincere, being humble in leadership, and also offering what you as a leader can see is the ideal path to go, and not just making things up just to be seen as a leader. And again, the first hexagram we're talking about right now is the energy we're moving from. And then the one that the hexagram 43 is the one that it changed to. That's where we're stepping into or moving towards. So this is an energy that's been happening here that we're talking about, and we're moving away from at this time for this reading. And then the second line is the next line that is changing in our hexagram that we created here. And it says acting independently, attuning to the correct time to act. Your independence is influential when you move to your own perception of timing. So tuning in to your own inner guidance system, listening inside, and regardless of what's going on around you or what the rest of the group is doing, acting on what's best for yourself from inside yourself, and listening to inner spirit guidance and direction. For the gene keys, the overlighting shadow frequency here, if it's acting out of balance, is arrogance. The repressed shadow resulting from that is the shadow of deferring. And like you could see where like you just pass the buck or something, or defer mistakes or errors to someone else instead of taking responsibility as a leadership, and then as a leader. And then the reactive shadow is arrogance again, so it's behaving arrogant. So we're wanting to step into divine leadership here as the gift frequency and allow the essence of humility to draw forth. So this hexagram is the one that we're moving away from in this reading, and we're moving towards gate 43, which is the gate of insights and breakthroughs. So let's pause here. Anyone on the call, have you been experiencing any of the energy that we have just talked about with gate 31? And this could be either from inside yourself to yourself, from yourself to another in a relationship, or another person to you in a relationship, or observing other people in your environment with demonstrating that experience. It's
There's
okay
a lot.
if you
Yeah,
haven't, but if you have, I'd love to
yeah.
hear.
There's actually a lot has been going on in my life recently, especially with influencing and leadership. I always here in my house, I have some roommates, and one of them just went through a horrendous time with she got a disease, and it just killed her nerves, and so she's working now to get it back. And so I'm like an influence for her to really work hard so she can see her grandbaby and hold her grandbaby. And so there's been a lot of and even in the step number 2, the arrogance, and yeah, that's just been real rampant lately, especially when you look at what's happening overseas. And it's yeah, that's a true reading there. So
Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Edwin. Elizabeth or Bridget, you're welcome to hop out and make a comment if you want to. If not, that's okay too. Okay. All right, so we're moving away from hexagram 31 or gate 31, the gate of influence. And in the gene keys, it's the gate of leadership. And we're stepping in or move into or moving towards gate 43 of insights and breakthroughs. So the gate 43 is in the knowing channel or the knowing circuit. And this is where we have a direct flow of energy that we're receiving from the divine or the universal flow of energies. And it comes straight into our being from that universal flow. So this is about receiving new perceptions, reforming old ways and doing things differently with our habits, and then also allowing enough time and space to let those insights that we receive in our meditations or sudden ahas or knowingness that we receive for ourselves, to allow it to kind of percolate until before we share. And the most ideal, again, would be wait until someone asks you for that information. It can be really hard to hold some of this information to oneself at times. So a good thing is like journal about it so that you have it in remembrance when someone does ask you, or you could, any of you that blog or you have a podcast or something, that's perfect places to share your insights and breakthroughs in an open-hearted way, so that those who are open to receiving that will show up on I'm just going to look at the chat here. Somebody just said something. So that those that are ready will show up and be able to receive the wisdom that you're sharing. And other than that, it's again kind of similar to the gate 31 where we talked about if you're sharing things through the gate 43 before someone asks, and the information will not have such a potential of higher potential of being received well. But if you wait for someone who's truly interested, then they will be more open to, I'm going to say there's higher percentage points of it being valued after you deliver the message, if that makes sense. So waiting is super, super valuable. And let's see. I want to make sure I'm staying on track here. The shadow frequency here in the Gene Keys materials is deafness. So that's the overlighting shadow. The repressed shadow is being deaf. So gate 43 can have a tendency to only hear what they want to hear if a person has this activated in their design. And then also the reactive shadow is noisy. So this might be a person who walks really loud through the house or bangs doors or whatever and may disturb other people in the household. And deafness is the shadow frequency, meaning, again, only wanting to hear what they want to hear and not really what's happening. The gift frequency to activate here in through the Gene Keys is the gift of insight. So sitting in meditation is a really good way to activate that gift. And then the essence or the city essence is epiphany. So getting those aha moments and allowing sudden spiritual guidance to come through. So we're going to read the first and the second line again, because those are the two lines that changed in this hexagram. However, the overall message of this hexagram is important that we're moving towards. The first line here, it says being vigilant. No need to rush blindly into employing new insights. Your resignation and intent are needed to replace old ways and implement any new insight. So again, the guidance is don't just jump in. Just because you received an insight doesn't mean you have to do something with it right away. Let it kind of simmer and stabilize and come more into true definition and structure before moving forward, to make sure that it's actually going to work before you do something with it. And then the second line says being resolute. A clear mind gives access to clear outcomes. Staying true or not to your way of relating insights affects whether they ever become a reality. So this is another guidance I would say, um, like to journal, and so that you can check back and keep meditating on what you wrote and gain more and more insight over time. And it will help you stay on track with the insight that you received. If you don't have a way to record those insights, then you can get pulled off from the true message of it or the truth of it. But journaling is a way that we can record those insights and be able to stick to them and maintain the clarity that we received from the get-go, so that we can actually start manifesting in physical form the insights that we received. So,
I had something come to me when you were talking about this,
okay.
and it was like foraging in the woods, and you like find a mushroom, then you find this herb, and you find this thing, and you like put all the things in your pouch. And then once you feel like you've got it completed, you go home and make soup.
Yep, yep, truly. That's the way it is, especially with that knowing circuit. It's just, you might have heard the statement, receiving line upon line, precept upon precept. I think that's in scripture somewhere.
Mhm.
Um, we receive these insights over time. They don't, sometimes they can come in a big, huge package, but then it takes a while to unbox or unpackage what you just received. Journaling is very, very good for insights through this gate. It looks like Stephanie sent me a message. Xana says, gate 43. I am definitely forming new habits. Very good. Awesome. Yay. And also I've been studying like the 23s at the end, the other end of the channel on gate 43. So this is the channel between the mind center and the throat center, right in the middle of those two on the body graph. And this channel is called Genius to Freak, meaning this is a person that if they share before those insights are distilled, so to speak, and stabilized and gotten a hold of in a way that can be shared uh, in everyday human language, right? Then we can be seen. If we share too soon, then people might go, "Oh my goodness, that's a strange person." And I don't know what the heck they're talking about, but I need to run away from them as quickly as possible. So, however, when you're sharing something that everybody thinks is super amazing, then they view you as a genius, and it's quite funny how those tables can turn very quickly if we're not careful. So, being mindfully aware of what we're sharing and value the information we receive in our meditations through spirit, the ahas, insights that we receive, and recording them and then applying them to the best of our ability, contemplating on them, showing how those insights show up in our life, and waiting for correct or divine timing before sharing. Okay, hi Maria. Hey, does anyone else have any other ahas to share or anything regarding these two gates? Stephanie says it's a delicate balance between genius and freak. Oh, for sure. Oh my goodness, it sure is. Like things can just get really crazy out of hand if we're not careful with this channel. And then trust me, you start feeling a little silly sometimes. I have this channel activated in my design. It's quite the experience. So anyway. Plus, on top of that, I have a lot of Aquarian energy in my design activations. So yeah, it's all, again, all fun and games in the candy shop. Okay. All right. So there is our message as a group. So what I have here is I have cards that we can do individual card polls for the people that are here on Zoom, as well as it looks like Xana is on Facebook. So Xana, if you'd like a card pulled, let me show the cards that I have. I have inquiry cards, and each of these have little questions on the back that if you don't have a question that you have coming to your mind, we can draw a question for you. And then I have Julia Cameron's blessing deck here. It's 64 blessings, and I like to bring that in when I do human design Gene Keys card draws, because there's 64 cards there. It's a beautiful little thing to add. And then I have Rosie Aronson's beautiful Wisdom Keeper deck that we can refer to. And today I felt impressed to add Louise Hay's cute little Power Thought card deck. So if you'd like a message from there. And then Elijah has made this beautiful Gene Keys deck, and I have that one here if you want a card from there. And of course, those go with the 64 hexagrams. And then there's what is called creative action decks, action cards. And these are physical action cards, like make a collage, call a friend, tell the truth. So we can add that to your card draw if you want to help you integrate your message from your card draw. And then I have these cute little angel cards and a book we can look at the messages. So like this one says education, communication, angel transformation. So then I have some fun little keys with words. I have crystals, so on. I even have my angel number deck, angel number book here as well. So if anyone has been seeing some certain numbers lately, or we can even roll some numbers. Wisdom deck. Xana says the wisdom deck. Okay. We'll do yours first, Xana. Okay. Do you have a specific question that you want your reading for, Xana? You can share it if you want, or you can hold it to yourself. Let's wait a second to see if you have a specific question. Want to share? If not, I'll go ahead and draw one. Okay. You mean your wonder about your health? Okay. I almost asked you if you're having sinus trouble. But I won't ask that. So health, your overall health. Okay, let's see. And again, all these readings are for educational or entertainment purposes. They're not for diagnosing and prescribing. I know you all know that, but I get to say that anyway. Hey, just for everybody's well-being. All right. Okay, for Xana. Okay, we got the card, the gate 41, the gate of anticipation, or the Gene Keys, Gene Key anticipation. So gate 41 has to do with imagination, the gift of imagination, and being able to visualize how. So let's pretend you have a cup. It's maybe partially full of water, and you're wondering how to fill it up the rest of the way. Or maybe it's completely empty and you can imagine, okay, I can run down to the store and I can get some spring water to fill up my glass, or I can go get some juice out of the fridge, something like that. And so you can start imagining, and that's just a mundane everyday example. But in the case of your question, Zana, is I would view this as an invitation to use your imagination. Like, what would it be like if, um, one thing that I share in my quantum touch workshop when I offer a workshop is what would it be like, or what if I had been healed of this 5 years ago, and what would it be like, what would I be doing right now if I had been healed 5 years ago? And maybe take some little steps towards moving towards that direction in whatever capacity you can. Um, also, I'm being highlighted on like place wherever the challenge is that you're experiencing in your body, like put light in there every day. And I was talking to my sister the other day, and she's been having some health challenges as well. And the thing that, honestly, I'm going to be totally frank up front. Years ago, I was in bed most of the time. I was so sick with burnout. And I didn't know it was called burnout. I didn't know that that's what it was. But now I'm understanding that that's what it was. And I, through spirit guidance, I was guided and directed to say thank you to every darn thing that happened. Whether I liked what happened or not, it didn't matter. It was the same answer, thank you. And over the years, I've added the phrase, I love you afterwards. And so that's what my sister and I were talking about the other day. And because it helped me tremendously just to say, like, whatever body part is bothering you, like, say, if your shoulder is hurting you and you notice a pain or it's crunchy in there or whatever, then just touch up there on your shoulder and say, thank you, I love you. If it's your knee, then touch your knee, thank you, I love you. If you just stubbed your toe, and this happened to me one time, I stubbed my toe many years ago, and I broke my pinky toe. And it took a year for it to mend. It was really stubborn. And after I was taught through spirit guidance about this gratitude thing, my husband and I were in our basement one day, and I went to go up the stairs and I broke that toe again. And I just looked at him and I started laughing. And I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I reached down, put it back in its place, and put my shoes and socks on and everything. And it was mended very quickly. It mended itself. So when we do some of these things for ourselves, the energy can move very rapidly. Zana says, definitely practicing and imagining what it would be like to feel good. Yes. And then place light in the place in your body where you are feeling the discomfort, and try saying the thank you, I love you, because our bodies will respond to that. And then Stephanie suggests a Ho'oponopono prayer. I kind of, okay, some people might not like this. I don't like saying I'm sorry all the time. So if there's a way that you know, can interject something different, like I'm grateful, thank you, I love you, and use the same cadence or whatever. But I have noticed, in particularly the last month or so, a lot of women I've talked to out in public, and this is one of them, was like, she looked like she was about 12-year-old girl, saying I'm sorry all the time. So when we start internalizing that and saying I am whatever, and it's a negative, then that can go to the negative. So um, being mindfully aware of let's change that to something else, like ask for spirit guidance as to what to substitute that for. Still do the Ho'opono because it does work, definitely, but upgrade it, like consider upgrading it somehow, to make it so that it's more positive. Okay. All right. Very good, Zana. Thank you. Okay. And who would like to be next?
I'd like just a general reading. It doesn't
Okay.
matter which card deck, whatever the spirit guides you to get, that's the deck
Okay.
it needs to be. So
All right, the first thing that came to my mind, Edwin, was a question card, and then we'll see what comes through after that. I'm getting an angel card. So we'll get a question for you. And again, these cards you can get at inquirycards.com, and there's 2 decks that are here in this deck that I'm using. So I think she still sells them. Sylvia still sells them separately from each other. Okay, what am I looking for? So we've got some blue in there and some green. So a heart and throat chakra activation. And let's get our little angel book here. And we'll draw an angel card. See what the angels have to say in response to the question, what is Edwin looking for? Oh, being in the now. Okay, so the angel of the now. I'm just going to check. There's 8 paragraphs, and I'm going to check which ones to read to you. So the third one, it says, what do you really feel right now? And what do you really want right now? What can you do now to bring wholeness into your life? Start now. That's kind of going off with what we have just talked about in Xana's card draw. Like, what, what does it feel like that you want right now? And what do you really not want right now? And imagine what will bring the wholeness into your life. Fill up that glass, so to speak. Like, what's going to bring wholeness and completeness? Let me see if there's any other one. Paragraph 6. And to add to that, the word now is used to strengthen a command. Take charge of your life and do it now. Now is the only sure thing in life. Make the most of it. Okay, and the other thing that I'm getting impression about is the only true place that you can be in is in the now. That's the only thing that's happening right now. There's the future can't happen right now. The past can't happen right now. And if we're playing out or trying to play out conditioning from when, say, we were a toddler or 7-year-old, something that happened when we were 7 or 8 or whatever, and our psyche or our subconscious mind is trying to constantly play that situation out in the now, that can cause disruptions. And generally oh my goodness, refer to that as conditioning or trauma or something that keeps bothering us in the now and prevents us from being our highest expression in the moment. So staying in the now, forgiving what's happened in the past, and yes, we can look towards the future, but staying in the now as you move towards the future is the impression that I'm getting.
I agree. I agree with all that.
Awesome. Okay. Very good. Feel complete?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
All right. Yep, you're welcome. Very good. Okay. Elizabeth, would you like a card drawn for you?
That would be lovely. Thank you.
Yeah. did you have a specific card deck that you were drawn to, or we can do what we just did for Edwin?
I mean, I have a general idea of a question, but not necessarily a deck.
Okay, all right.
I feel like I've been called to the current position I have, but that calling was 12 years ago, and I'm now trying to decipher, am I still being called there, or is it time to move on? Because I'm feeling kind of both. And it's something I've been chewing on and overthinking for a couple of years now.
Okay.
So
It feels like this little angel deck again. Does that sound good to you?
fine.
Okay. Okay, I'm being shown to draw 3. Okay, so the first one is trust.
Okay.
To be in a space of trust. So let's see what the angel of trust wants to say. Okay, the 4th paragraph, and it says, find alternative options, be clear and truly understand what is happening. Wow, that went in line with what you were just asking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so look for other options other than what you've been looking at is what I'm getting here.
Okay.
Don't just look at the one option that you've got in front of you.
Yeah.
And then make sure that you understand, like completely research everything before you move forward. And then the second angel is the angel of freedom. And we'll see what the angel of freedom has.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one's cool.
Mm-hmm.
My hands are a little bit dry. I'm having a hard time turning the pages. Here we go. I'm going to check paragraph. Okay, it's the 6th paragraph. Drawing this card often indicates a change of vibration that sets into motion a series of chain reactions. It's similar to a reed instrument that is activated into sound by the breath. The result can be a new and beautiful harmony. So the impression that's coming to my mind when I read that is make sure after you do your research that whatever you're moving towards is going to bring harmony in your life, and it'll give you breathing space, a sense of openness, liberation, like, wow, I can finally breathe. And then the 3rd angel card here is the angel of courage. Let's see what the angel of courage. Okay, and paragraph. The 5th paragraph, it says, life is not always easy. Bite the bullet and take a chance. Let go of past mistakes and misgivings and reach for that brass ring in the sky. So after you've done these other 2 things, then what this is guiding or inviting is to go for it, whatever, like have the courage to do what you came down to in your decision-making process and not just let it sit there.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to draw a little key for you. Oh, no words, but move forward with an open heart.
Okay.
Hey, that was cool.
That is because I'm a projector, so it's something that I'm just learning how to understand the invitation, and I've tend to be overly I got slapped down a lot when I was young for being too bold and not waiting for invitation. So I think I've kind of gone in the other direction of like using it as an excuse to not do anything.
Okay. Okay.
So thank you for the invitation. It's pretty strong here.
Yeah. And also projectors can receive invitations from spirit
Mhm.
to move forward, which kind of feels like what's been happening from what you described.
Mhm.
Yeah. Those
Yeah,
little.
sorry.
Do you have an insight, Edwin? I
I
saw that you were
do. And
holding a
and
card up.
it's funny, I just got this signed in today and it says, life is too short to wake up with regrets. So love the people who treat you right, forget the people who don't. Believe everything happens for a reason. If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said life would be easy. They just promised it would most likely be worth it. That sign just came today in my house, so it fits a lot of this so far. So
I love it. Thank you, Edwin.
you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was awesome. Cool. Hey.
Hi.
Hi, Bridget.
I was thinking the ones with the dragonflies on them.
Oh, okay. All righty.
I love
Thank you
dragonflies.
yeah, this I think she put that on there because it's like transformational, you know, the Gene Keys material
Mhm.
is. But she's also got this amazing coloring book too. And I believe you can get these off of Amazon.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you can find the one that goes with your activations. I copy them out of the book with the copier and then color them that way. So that if my children want one or a friend or whatever, then I can give them a clean one. And anyway, and it's
I'm a
easier.
6'2" manifester.
Oh, sweet.
I don't know a whole lot, but I know that much.
Okay, beautiful. Well, that's what this group is for, is to start learning about those things and how knowing this information can help us. And you know, it's like a new toy.
It is.
Yeah.
And considering like I've studied like astrology and I've done like the soul colors and all kinds of different things. I love to learn about people. And I'm going to be 50 coming up. So I'm
Okay.
looking forward to that. Flip the switch from this sucky bit I've been doing. So
Oh, so it's your Chiron activation, is what I'm hearing. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So do you have a specific question that you have in mind? You don't have to share it if you don't want to, but you can.
No, not really. Just whatever I'm meant to receive.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's see what happens here. All right. So it is gate 36, the gene key of humanity. So that's the gift frequency. So this is a fun little one. This is in the human design, it's crisis resolution. And basically it's bringing compassion to being human, the human experience, being in the earth plane in a physical body, and all the fun little adventures we have while being in these meat suits.
Yes.
um, I'm being shown to go ahead and turn to this page. There's some contemplation questions she's got in here. Let me see. I'm going to read the gift section to you. It says, "My gift to you I come to celebrate your humanity, to remind you of your innate goodness, and to reassure you that there is no feeling in you that is inherently wrong or bad. No matter what you've done or experienced in life, you are innocent at your core. What matters now is not what you feel, but what you do with your feelings. I ask you, please don't reject your feelings or react to them. Simply acknowledge and embrace any emotional turbulence within you with compassion. Nervousness is only a sign that you have some feelings that need to be seen and embraced. Do not run from your pain, for along with your pain comes a great deal of pleasure. So I have a piece of artwork that I started creating, and it says there's a treasure in each trial.
Mm.
And I have this gate 36 activated in my life, and I can only guess that it came from this. One thing I've learned over the years about this energy is, and I'm feeling impressed to share, is that when we step out and we do things and challenge ourselves and make our own growth or challenge process ourselves, and we choose that challenge, then the universe will kind of step back and stop giving us things that cause us a challenge and force us to learn and grow because we're endeavoring it to do it ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Not that the universe won't give us challenges when we need them, right? But it will kind of step back and go, oh, she's doing that herself. I don't need to do that for her.
I like that. Yeah.
Then still staying in an open space of acceptance that if there is something there that needs to be learned, that I'm open to having that challenge to teach me, or so I can learn and grow in the way that I wouldn't be able to by myself. So
That's very much my nature, at least in this point in my life. You know, like, oh, something is kind of scary, so let's just go do that thing.
yeah,
So
seriously. Following your manifestor type, are you emotional manifestor, or it's okay if you don't know right now?
I don't know. I think I pick up the emotions of the people around me.
Okay, all right.
And
The other
is
two
that makes
options,
sense.
the other two options are the ego manifestor or the spontaneous manifestor, instantaneous manifestor.
I don't know.
Okay, it's okay. You can go and look and see, and then but follow that in your decision-making process is what I was wanting to get at.
Okay.
All righty, thank you. All right,
Thank
Maria.
you.
Yeah. Maria, did you have a specific, you want one from that same deck? Okay. Hi,
Hey, how are you?
Snuggly.
Oh, here we go. I've eaten too much of my kids' Halloween candy.
Oh.
No, my daughter's not attached, and I'm like, no, please be attached. I even say, come and share it with me. She's like, no, I'm okay. You can have whatever you want. Anyway, so whatever you're drawn to, I'm open. I'd like some direction on. Oh, I actually I have a question for you. So I have just a sec. I found out that I'm a triple split definition. Any idea what that means?
Yes, you are someone who needs people around you.
Oh, how annoying.
Yeah, to bring those connections for you. Otherwise you might, feel disconnected or alone. So I would say spend time around other people or walk in the mall or whatever, get around other people's art fields. So you can go through your decision-making process. So that's what that triple split is there.
Okay, I wondered about that. I thought it meant I had like lots of personalities or something.
In a way, yes, you will have three different ways of relating to yourself. Yes. Yeah.
So does that mean, hold on, just making notes. So does that mean that even though my strategy is, no, my emotional is a solar plexus, that I may actually, my inner authority may be different?
No, your authority is still the emotional authority.
Okay.
Yeah, that won't ever change. But getting around other people so you can feel into things more easily is the thing that
So
you'll.
annoying.
I know, but knowing these things, you're like, oh, I'm making this big decision. I'm gonna go walk in the mall. So that energy activation from walking through other people's art fields will last a couple of hours after you do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is
Okay.
very fast.
Really? I'm on a live. Go away. Go away. Go away. Go away. Thank you. So annoying.
Okay.
No, because she comes in here and the dog gets a bit nuts. I was going to say, okay, because all right, hold on a second here. Okay, because I'm a manifesting generator, which is annoying in itself. I'm supposed to wait to respond to other people.
You respond to what shows up naturally in your environment. So whatever that is, like what you just did with your children and the dog, you responded to them, right? They showed up naturally in your environment, and you and you're like, no, 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 no. Go on, I'm busy.
Okay, it's very strange because I I long for solitude. You're telling me that I need people, so I'm just kind of like, okay,
We can draw a card for the solitude thing. Would you like that?
sure.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna shuffle
What
it.
does it mean? What does it mean if my signature is satisfaction, but my not self theme is frustration?
Oh, you're looking for satisfaction,
Yeah.
but you'll get frustrated if you don't get satisfied. If you have frustration coming up, then that I like to call that a red flag on the field, and it's an invitation to pause and get clear as to why you're frustrated and determine what to do about it and restore balance. And this is hilarious. I just drew the same card that we
Oh,
just
funny.
out. So let's add a contemplation question because we just got the same gate 36. There must be something more there for us. Contemplation question. Let me see. Do you ever find it hard to relax, to let people in, or to fully welcome your sexuality? You don't need to answer that here, of course. Contemplation.
Yeah. Right.
But sometimes it is hard, like what you just said. I need alone time, and if you've got little ones and pets running around, it can be hard to relax. So maybe soak in the tub. Gate 36, that would be perfect for soaking in the tub or getting in a jacuzzi or whatever. There's lots of YouTube videos. I think this came up last week, was watching videos that have water, flowing water and everything, maybe to go to sleep to. Let me see if one of these others. What feelings do you judge the most as being bad or shameful? And again, you don't need to answer these here on this call, but contemplating where you've been judging inside yourself that the way you're feeling is not okay, or that you should be ashamed for feeling the way that you're feeling or whatever, and then journaling about that. And I think that I'm checking that that's the questions. Let me see if there's any. Okay, let's read this wisdom story real quick and then we'll be finished with our readings for tonight. The world expected this is a story that Rosie has put in her book for this gene key. The world expected my father to be a bad seed, so he became one. He cheated on my mother, had a bad temper, and created chaos wherever he went. Like many of the men in our neighborhood, he was reckless, always pushing the limit, getting into trouble, and attracting crisis after crisis. He didn't mean to hurt us, which is probably why he hid so much from us and why he begged for forgiveness when my mother and grandmother finally kicked him out. My mother and grandmother were strong women. Now, this is the paragraph that was highlighted. I realized I needed to read the whole thing, but in this paragraph is where to pay attention to what's being said. My mother and grandmother were strong women who did their best to raise and protect me. Their task wasn't easy, given our turbulent neighborhood, where the police frightened us as much as the gangs. I witnessed more tragedies than a young boy ever should. I also watched the news and saw how men like my father were perceived. I promised myself I'd never be like him or cause the pain he caused. So whatever message is there for you inside that paragraph. And then I'll finish this little story. As a teen, if I felt anger or lust, I'd go with my grandmother to church and pray for my sins to be taken away. But over time, the stress got to me and my nervousness gave me tics. Though inside I was sensitive and caring, I avoided eye contact with people and appeared shifty. I was hard to reach and had few friends, although there was one girl in my church who I secretly fancied. Too shy to approach her, I followed her home one day, hid in the bushes, and peeked in her window. She saw someone in the bushes and called the police. Oh my goodness. Imagine the shame I felt when my poor mother and grandmother had to come to the jail and bail me out. The charges were dropped as soon as the girl discovered who it was, but I was still required to meet with a social worker. Something in his eyes reassured me he'd been there. He knew suffering deep in his bones. He didn't just see the terror, shame, or nervousness in me, he saw the good seed. It was a strange and amazing experience to have a man encourage me to talk about my feelings. I knew instantly that I'd one day come to do exactly what he did. I'd see the good seed in everyone I met. I'd look straight in their eyes and let them know with my whole heart that they were okay, exactly how they were, no matter how they felt, what they looked like, or where they came from. So again, embracing the feelings, the emotions that you have inside yourself. You are perfect exactly the way you are. There's nothing wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't need to fix yourself. Just love who you are and keep having compassion for being in human form and move forward from there with love. Yeah.
No small task.
Yeah. No small task. Yes. So, all right, my dears.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming.
So are you going to be on the call tomorrow too?
I'm not going to be on the call tomorrow because I'm a manifester as well, and I need to take care of my energy field. I'm getting ready for the Friday morning study group discussion, so I need to be focusing on that. And then Stephanie put a note here. It says Introduction to the Spheres Within Your Gene Keys with Cassandra tomorrow at 6 p.m. So Central, 6 p.m. Central. And then Friday morning is our Human Design Gene Keys discussion. We'll be talking about the types. So those of you who had questions about your type and your strategy this evening, then we will be talking about that Friday morning. So
Friday morning at what is it, 11 Central?
At 11 Central. And also, if we can only get through part of that, then we'll continue the next week and finish. So we'll just go with the flow of everything. And I want to make the important thing is to make sure we get answers to questions and understanding. So we'll just go with the flow of the presentation and move forward. So
There's something on Saturday too, right?
Stephanie, did we have something on Saturday as well? I don't remember. I think there was.
Yes, we're actually, me and Christina are going to be doing Intro to the Planets
Okay.
on Saturday. So, yeah. And that's going to be at 1 p.m. Central Time.
Okay.
And I think we're going till 3. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey, that sounds like a blast. Cool. Okay, and then next week is the same readings, the throwing the coins again with our oracle card readings. So anyway, thank you so much for coming, and I have enjoyed connecting with each of you. Hopefully you got the messages that are helpful for you this evening. So okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yep. You're welcome, and I will see you later. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
You're welcome.